Okay, we'll make a start. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Parish Council meeting, 3rd of March. Can I just remind everybody that we are being video and audio recorded, and please can you make sure the phones are either put on silent or switched off, please. Okay, public session. We've got 15 minutes of questions from the public, if there are any. So can we kick on, please? No? Okay, right, we'll start the agenda.
Actually, sorry, I've not been to a parish council meeting before, so it's a bit new to me. I know that on the agenda there is the biodiversity element, and from what I understand there is a plan for biodiversity locally, and there is going to be an action plan added to that. Is that correct? Is that
the biodiversity one is coming up on 259, which is on the agenda, so I'd like to discuss it then, if I may.
Yeah.
And then it'll all come to life.
Okay, super, thank you.
Thank you. Good, okay, well, we'll start the meeting then. I'll have to say we're going to have a closed meeting at the end of the session, whereby members of the public are asked to leave the meeting while confidential matters are conducted, and it really just refers to the bull field which we rent out, so we're going to consider tenders, and so therefore it will be closed to the public, but that'll be after the meeting itself. And we need a vote on that. Does everybody agree to the closed meeting? I'd like to propose it.
I'll second it.
Second it.
Yes.
Everybody agree? Thank you very much. Okay, item 2526-256 to consider and receive apologies for absence given in advance of the meeting, and to consider the approval of reasons given for absence. We've got two absences tonight. We've got Councillor Sanderson, who is away on annual leave, and we've got Councillor Marguerite Markham, who, has she given any reason for not attending? Okay.
She's not giving apologies.
Okay, right.
And we have one vacancy.
And we have one vacancy, yeah. If anybody'd like to join us. Okay, next item, 2526-257 to receive declarations of interest in items on the agenda. Anybody I would like to declare an interest in anything which is going to come on tonight's?
Yeah, I think I ought to. 2526-263, the rent/stroke purchase parcel of PC owned land. We use their business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm the same.
Okay. All right, Jenny?
Yeah.
Good, okay. 2526-258 to confirm and sign Parish Council meeting minutes of the 20th of January. And myself.
Are we all happy with them?
Oh, we're happy with it.
Yeah, I propose we accept them as a true record.
I'll second that.
So I'm happy.
No voting.
Yeah, well, everybody agree?
Yep.
Right, okay, moving on to 2526-259 to receive and consider updates to the biodiversity policy document. I believe all councillors have been circulated with the replacement document for that. Has everybody seen it?
Yeah.
Do we have any comments on that?
Well, it's a YLCA one, isn't it?
It is a YLCA one.
And we use YLCA.
We use YLCA, we subscribe to YLCA, and
All our other policies are YLCA
Yeah.
policies, so...
My only question when I read it was, given I'm new, it looks like an update as opposed to something that's new. Is that correct?
Yeah.
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 is there anything material in the update, or have we always been obliged to do what this policy would have us do?
Not at all, because the other policy wasn't a YRCA policy at all. The one that's
Right.
replacing.
Okay,
That was one devised by the ex-chairman at the time.
so there are some implications coming from this. Yeah.
So, is everybody in favour of adopting the new policy?
I propose that we do.
And I'll second it. Everybody in favour?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm more concise.
May I ask a question at this point?
Not normally, but I will allow you to.
Okay, just from my understanding, is it possible for the general public and community to see the new policy?
When it's up on the, as soon as it's published, which it will be,
Right.
it'll be up on
Probably about another week at
Probably about
the
another week.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, 25-26 to 60 to receive and consider the publication of Employment Tribunal report and decision. As we know, the Employment Tribunal decision was made quite some time ago, and we've been waiting for clearance to actually publish that. We've had a letter from our solicitor we used in the case, and they're quite happy to allow us to publish that to the general public and put it on our website. Am I correct?
It's my understanding.
That is our
That's
understanding.
in writing from the
So
solicitor.
I don't want to go into too much about the tribunal because you can read it on the on the website. So I would like to propose that we publish and put the Employment Tribunal decision on our website
That we received.
that we received.
I'll second that.
You know, I think it's only right and proper we do because the community funded
Yeah,
the
quite.
costs of our solicitors and the work we did. So I think it's right and proper that we should publish the findings. So, yeah.
I'm voting
So you,
for it.
you propose, I'll second.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody in favour?
I've got no background in it, so I'm just going to
No.
go with what you
Yeah, I mean,
I've read it. It
It's
is
all
what it
legal,
is.
you know. Yeah. So I think. You know,
I think the key thing is we've been given the approval to publish our copy,
Yeah.
and that's what the vote is about. The overall copy is still yet to be published by the government office.
It should be more detailed.
Yeah, but this is our copy, and because we own that copy, we are able to publish it,
That's right.
and that's been put in writing from the solicitor.
And we just felt it was time. There's a lot of time gone past since the decision was
Yeah.
made, and we
Yeah.
felt it was time that it came out to the public and they're able to. Yeah.
Can I just ask a question
Yeah.
on that? Is it a full written decision of a tribunal? Because sometimes they give summary reasons. Sometimes, if they're asked for, they will give full written decisions, but they don't always. So, do you know if a full written decision was asked for and given, or
I don't
will
know.
become a matter of public record at some point, or whether it's
It was
just
the
summary?
it was the judgment after the case
Right.
that the judge sent through to our lawyers
Yeah.
in Leeds.
Right.
But I'm guessing that the whole 2 days will be something else that will go up, which the Employment Tribunal haven't put up yet on their website.
Right.
And the
The reason being, I think they say they're very, very busy, but it's
Yeah.
taken a long, long time
Yeah.
for it to come through. So we thought it was only right and proper that we would let the public know, basically, by putting it on our website.
It's certainly pretty detailed, isn't it? In that each claim is itemised and each decision against that claim is given an explanation and the reasoning behind the decision. So
Yeah.
it seems
Yeah.
pretty extensive, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it only runs to about 3 pages, 4 pages. But,
I think it surprised me, it's just the length of time that's gone by since
Yeah.
it was received. It's actually dated 18th of June
Yeah.
last year,
Yeah.
which is long past any time that appeals are given as part of the process.
Yeah, I think there was a 10-day period where.
I think there's anything up to 45
Four-
days.
Yeah.
42 days.
But yeah. Okay, everybody happy with that?
Yep.
Right, 25-26-261, to receive and consider updates for the village maintenance. One caretaker work completed since January. Place Council, Jenny, can you?
Yeah, there hasn't been that bit. I've done the invoice of Matt today, so it's done about 7 hours. So it seems to be towards with the gate at the junction there. He's tidied it up all around there. He's done some work back aisle and around the parish church. And that's been about it. So it's only been about 7 hours. Round, and a lot of that's just due to the weather, but he will be starting to trim around the, in the cemetery, and there's the apple tree
to do,
yeah, and he's also going to help out with this hedge in the snicket just off Malton Gate, because we just need the facility to be able to take away all the cuttings. So that's going to be done with Peter Lockwood, the voluntary ranger, and also Peter Smith, who organised for the trees to be cut back. So that's all in hand.
Yeah, good. Number 2, work for the cemetery grades, churchyard wall and hedge cutting. I can give an update on the hedge cutting. Tony Butterworth very kindly did the hedge with his tractor cutter and has sent us a bill for it. Made a great job as usual. Cemetery gates, I think they are in progress, aren't they?
Yeah, we're still looking at, installation in March, towards the end.
Yeah.
And again, it's a lot of it's just weather dependent.
3, work to village benches, Malton Gate railings, allotment fencing. I know the allotment fencing's been done, hasn't it? That's been completed.
That's been done. And the fencing, the benches and the railings. Ground serve Sam, he's starting next week in terms of grass cutting anyway, and he's going to try and fit this in the week after. Again, it's just been due to the weather, not being able to start that. So he might start on some benches next week if he's got the time. But he's definitely starting his grass cutting contract next week.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's going to be the week after for railings and benches.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we got to push him along on that.
Yeah, we do.
As soon as he gets, I know the weather hasn't been with him, but
Yeah.
Okay, for allotment and cemetery, water taps, meters, grit bins update. I can give an update on the water taps. The water taps in the cemetery have been switched on now. Both the meters for the cemetery and the allotments have been read, and I've given you meter readings, Jenny. Now, the water for allotments will go on any day soon when I get 2 people to go there, me to switch the water on and somebody else to go around and make sure that there's several taps in there that haven't been left on and we end up flooding the place out. So that will be in the next couple of days. So by the weekend, hopefully, all the water will be on. And obviously, if we get any sharp frost, we'll have to think about it, but it's pretty unlikely.
There was a lot of people up there today.
Yeah. So yeah, now's the time for it to be switched back on. Allotments. That was a lot of grit bins.
Well, we gave the instructions to North Yorkshire Council to refill the ones that were empty or that were a bit redundant and needed replenishing. So that was all passed on. I don't know if they've been filled. I don't know if anybody's noticed. Because there was one on Peasland as well, wasn't there? Or Dog Kennel Lane.
Yes, there was.
Yeah.
That blew down the road, I think. So
Yeah,
that's been.
so
I'll check on that.
They did say they were going to prioritise it. And that was about 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I haven't had any invoice.
No.
No.
Okay, move on. 25-26-262 to receive and consider progress actions on the following proposed new documents. Business continuity plan. That's a sort of a incorporated emergency plan. That's something we're working on at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's been circulated. It was just whether or not anybody had any comments. It will become a working document eventually, but it needs to get to that stage, and there's quite a bit more refinement needed. But it was just if anybody had any comments on if there was anything missing, but it's just the sort of start of building a continuity.
I must apologise for doctoring the homework miss. I couldn't download that one. I couldn't open it.
Detention anyway.
That's a forward plan. We call it the continuity plan.
Yeah.
So my only question was, when I looked at the January one, you've got all the policies, a review of all the policies within inside of there. And then a bit further down, there is a catalogue of all the policies,
Yeah.
of which there's quite a lot of them. I just wondered whether it might be better to actually do 2 or 3 each meeting or something, so that rather than get bogged down with loads of policies.
Yeah, I think, yeah, sorry, Sam. I think the idea of putting it in January was to look at everything and review it, but not necessarily bring it all to a meeting. The idea was to check it against, say, YLCA, to see whether or not there's been an update since, and then schedule it in throughout the year. And so we stopped at that early stage, and I think what we need to decide on is the sort of a definitive list of policies, and I've started to put that list together. And some of them will be statutory, that need to be done in May, you know, like the financial regs, standing orders, and then it's okay. Now, I have asked the question of YLC, and they have sent me a spreadsheet of every policy, and they've graded it red, amber, green type thing. And so I'm working my way through that and cross-referencing it against what we've got, what's on the website, what needs to still go on the website. And even down to some of the guides need updating, like the Good Counsellor Guide, the Good Neighbourhood Plan type guide. So that's, yeah, it's very much work in progress, but I think we need to, there's certainly some policies we've got on the website that are overdue to be updated. They've got 2023 on, like the grant application and a few others. So it's, I think it's going to take a few months to get it to a point where we then decide where do we want to.
Yeah.
But it may be that it's not set in stone. The only ones set in stone are the ones that are say red, which have to be done every year, and then the rest are really like the biodiversity. That was only updated in February this year, so that seemed opportunist to use that for this meeting. And similarly with other policies, so it might be an orange and it's an amber as and when it's updated. So I think the January thing is to just look and have an overview and then decide where in the year we want to, because it's impossible to, you know, to put them all into the meeting.
With some of these, Jenny, they probably don't need to be reviewed every year.
Yeah.
I would think, you know, like memorial bench policy,
Yeah.
probably only needs reviewing once every 3 years.
Yes. Yeah.
Think about that. Alternatively, if it's reviewed every year, it's just a tick sheet, but probably something,
Yes.
you know, quite a lot of the policies could have a longer space than an annual review.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the health and safety ones as well. And again, I think they don't need doing, because we had a purge on that last year, but probably don't need to review it for another few years. But
Especially as we only employ one person.
I am very clumsy though. So yeah, so I take your point, Simon, and I totally agree. We just need to, I think, take stock of it all and then decide which are the ones that need to go on that plan, because they need doing every year, and then the rest are very much as and when. And I've just got to grade all that. But I'm using the guide from YLCA as well. They've been quite helpful. I mean, I will circulate this spreadsheet, but it's about 10 pages long. It's got lots of policies in there. There might be some on there that we need to consider and introduce, but just need to do them. Yeah, yeah. So just need to cross-reference really. So that's work in progress.
Okay. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, caretaker duties and map. I think at the last meeting we discussed about bringing a map forward so we could look at the current duties of the caretaker. And I know there's going to be some alterations around that because we don't get a grant from the parks anymore. National Parks do the car parks. So if we're not getting a grant to do the car parks, which is the responsibility of the national parks, then I don't see why or the duck pond, I don't really see why our caretaker should spend time there when it's a parks.
Well, there is a list, isn't there?
Yeah.
And that came from really the tender document, and the ones highlighted in yellow, I think there was 2, which we really need to think about taking off because they're not relevant. But it's just whether there's any others that need adding on there that we just need to be, you know, prescriptive about. It needs to be added to that list. I think the majority are on there, what Matt does, but it's just whether we've missed anything.
Have we got Beck Isle on there?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. And really defining areas, how far we go north, south and east, west down the village. I mean, you know, it's open for discussion tonight, so if we go down Malton Gate, how far does everybody think we ought to, or Mark ought to carry out his caretaker duties down there? Do we go to the end of the car park and across the road?
See, it looks like from the map at the moment it goes all the way down to Westgate.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, I've given some thought to that. There is the area of grass next to Peter Smith's house where the footpath goes through.
Yeah.
And
Where
there's
the tree is.
where the tree is, which is a fairly large open space, which I know is in the grass cutting contract, but the edges of it would probably require maintenance.
That's where the apple tree is. isn't it?
Where the
Yeah,
apple tree is and the footpath that goes through to Roxby Road, so which has a tendency to get overgrown.
Sure.
So I would like to see that included.
Okay.
So perhaps if we brought it forward from Westgate to Roxby Road, that would include that.
Yeah.
And there's very little between Roxby Road and Westgate.
Is it up to the snicket then, where it
Where
goes
the
to
apple
Roxby
tree is.
Road? Right.
Yeah, if you put the caretaker's
Yeah.
boundary being Roxby Road,
Okay.
then there's very little between Croftburn where the snicket is and the Roxby Road turn.
Yeah, good. Going out towards Alliston, I think at the moment it goes to the church
Yeah.
and includes the cobblestones of
Yeah.
the church as well, which I think is important. They do get a bit
Mm.
overgrown, etc.
It's a bit of a mess there at the moment.
Yeah, it is. We've got I think the lorry's hit it or someone's hit it, hasn't it? So it's got fencing around it at the moment. So that's
And that includes the almshouses as well.
That includes the
Yeah.
almshouses,
And
all
down
the
to
way
the
up there,
village,
and
yeah.
down to the village, yeah. Going up towards Pickering, do we need to go any further than Mathewson's,
The village hall.
Village Hall?
So Roxby Road again.
Roxby Road again.
Roxbury Road,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Whitbygate, going up there, I think it'd be quite nice if we went up to the two seating areas on the top as you go to that.
By the element.
By the element, it often gets a bit dodgy on the footpath for people who push chairs, etc. when it overgrows onto the footpath.
Yeah.
So perhaps the benches, there's two sets of benches inside the road, isn't it? Perhaps that could be the limit. Not saying I'm up to suggestions, but it's just chip in if you've got any more.
Sounds
No,
reasonable.
that's
Yeah.
reasonable.
Okay. I'll get that updated then.
And then obviously Beck Isle,
Yeah.
all the way down there.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
When you're referring to caretaking duties, are you talking specifically about cleaning paths and things, or are you talking about grass cutting?
No, just cleaning paths. Yeah, grass cutting is not the caretaker's contract. He does grass cutting in the cemetery and he does grass cutting in the
Churchyard.
churchyard, and that's it. So it's
Thank you.
purely on pavements. But there are certain items where the highways are responsible for. So there's gutter cleaning. They come along with their little gutter scrubber and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. So yeah.
Thank you.
There's a bit of an overlap sometimes between highways and caretaker, and
Yeah.
it's sometimes you got to think, well, for the good of the village, the caretaker can
Just
perhaps
do
do
yeah.
more than he should do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that okay with everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Do we need to agree those and have a vote on it?
No, I don't think. I think it was a general discussion around so that I can just bring the documents up to date.
Okay.
So I'll do that after the meeting and so
That's good.
see what you think.
Right, next one, biodiversity, a Grubs Up letter. I believe that Holly has secured her funding for the next year, and I believe that the Grubs Up group have got a plot of land to which they're going to Outgang Lane. The question to me is, do we need a letter if it's already been,
I don't think it would do any harm.
right?
I wrote to Holly just to try and find out the name of the landowner and some details so that if we were to do a letter, we'd have that information, and she hasn't come back yet. So So I still don't know who we would address that letter to.
I think you'd address it to her.
No, I think I've been told it's got to go to, the idea is to write to them.
What was agreed, and I would have correspondence with Holly, is that we'd find out who the landowner was. It wasn't who we thought of at the time, and then I contacted somebody else and it wasn't them. And in the end, Holly and I were corresponding, and Christmas was coming, she was going on holiday, and she was going to go look at the land registry. In fact, I suggested she looked at the land registry.
So I'm trying to remember the meeting.
That was
Where the meeting a couple of weeks ago of the nature group. I'm nearly sure, but again, I might be wrong, this would need checking. You might actually know. Alwyn.
I'm not aware, if I'm honest, and I wasn't told at that meeting who was the landowner.
It was put on the meeting.
That's who I suggested it was originally.
Whereabouts is it,
It's going up towards the tip, so as you enter into the tip, it's the right-hand side bit of land, which is
okay.
basically, I believe, used to be, before my time, it used to be full of orchids and everything else, and now it's just blackthorn scrub.
Yeah.
So there's quite a large area of land.
Yeah, no, I don't know who owns that.
Right, okay.
Unfortunately.
So at the meeting of the nature group,
Right.
it was just a couple of weeks ago. Alwyn
Right.
was the name that was mentioned. It meant nothing to me, but obviously means something to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's who I thought it was originally, but I did speak to his wife who said somebody else. She said no. We did think it was Alwyn.
Yeah, generally, if there's nobody else, it's Alwyn. I thought that
Yes.
yeah.
So, I don't know, do you want me to chase Holly? I know sometimes she's really busy out on location, so she's a bit behind on her email, so I could just maybe send her a chase, because we just need to decide if we send a letter who it's going to really.
Well, it wants to go to Alwyn to thank him as
If he is the...
Yeah, if he is the owner, to thank him for letting, because we do support the group,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
it to go to Alwyn.
So are we definite on that one? If it is, yeah.
That was put out as a matter of public record at that meeting.
Okay, I think I've got an email address.
Yeah, I've got Alwyn.
That's fine.
I've exchanged emails before, so I can
Yeah.
maybe just drop it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah?
Is everybody?
Yeah.
So we're in favour of the letter, and if I draft it, and then circulate it, and then
Yeah.
print it, you're happy to do all
Yeah.
that? Brilliant.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, completely in favour with that.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, when did Limekiln Lane become Outgang Lane?
I don't know. That is true.
Because until now, just now, that lane as far as the tip, as to my knowledge, has always been Limekiln Lane. Which would suggest it goes back to the time of when there were lime kilns there, and the cottage on the corner is known as Limekiln Cottage.
Oh, yeah.
So somebody in their wisdom has decided it's now Outgang Lane.
Right, so so I propose we send a letter to Holly with
No, to Alwyn.
to Holly.
Yeah.
And
I'll
second
draft
it.
it and I'll circulate it.
Okay, everybody in favour?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, good. Right, 25, 26, 2, 3.
Sorry, before you move on, related to the groups up meeting, there was quite a lot of really interesting topics discussed during the meeting, and I just wondered whether there is an opportunity to discuss that within the parish council, whether that is going to be a topic for discussion on a future meeting.
It's on the agenda. Simon's going to give a...
So it's coming later.
Yeah.
Right, sorry, I missed
From
that.
the perspective that I was at the meeting,
Yeah.
the liaison for the...
Yeah.
And we've also, I must add, we weren't there, I was on holiday, and so was Rebecca, but we've also had that presentation several months ago from Holly, so we're fully aware, and I believe it was exactly the same presentation, so it wasn't that we didn't want to turn up, it was the fact that we were on holiday and we'd already seen the presentation, so.
Sorry, I must have
Okay.
misunderstood where it sits in the
No problem.
Carried Brian.
Right, 25-26-263 to receive and consider updates on the request to rent or purchase a parcel of land which is owned by the PC just down the road here. Jenny, can you take us forward on
Yeah, sure.
that, please?
There's not much of an update, if I'm honest. I did contact one company to see if they'd be interested in maybe looking at it from a conveyance perspective, because obviously we've got two options here. One might want to rent, one might want to buy. And I did have to chase the person, the business in question. They eventually came back and said they weren't interested in looking to help us, basically. So we've then gone to a solicitor in Pickering who has already done some sort of agreement already for us for the car parking. So we thought we'd start there, and they're pulling out all the files for us so that we can have a look at the work that they've done for us already. But it may be a simpler option just to go down the route of offering just the option to rent rather than having two different options.
I would just rent.
So we've gone back to one of the solicitors in Pickering. As I say, they're pulling out the file for us to have a look at, and then it just seemed that seemed the most natural way to go, because they've obviously already done some work for us.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. So we'll keep it on the agenda.
Well, I think if we rent, we retain the asset, and we get some income from it. And I think to go down the selling route will be quite an expensive part,
It's quite complicated.
and complicated as well.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. Okay.
Anybody else anything to add to that?
No, completely agree.
Good. Right, 25-26-264 to receive and consider grant application received from Manthorpe Play Park. I think all councillors should have seen the various bits of paper you sent out. Jenny, can you just give me that?
Yeah, obviously the constitution, the up-to-date constitution was sent out, bank statements, which is what we request as part of the grant application. The idea is to match fund to the commuted sums amount, which is £2,495, I think. So it's just under 2,500, and that's the grant application. They've received up-to-date quotes, and they've obviously been successful in getting the lottery grant as well, which I think was 20,000. So they've done, it's been a real success story, and they seem quite driven, and they've done obviously questionnaires and what people are wanting to see there and what they want to spend money on. So yeah, so that's where we're at.
So they're looking to the council to match fund.
For the commuted sums amount, which was the 2,500.
Yeah.
So do we propose?
Do we have to make a decision on that tonight to do the funding?
I think the plan is to do that.
That's fine.
We've had the application form in, we've had all the information in that we requested,
Yep.
so it's just a case of voting on it.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to propose it's a great organisation and it's good for the village, and I'd like to propose we go ahead and match fund.
I'll second that.
I'm in favour.
Yeah. All in favour? Right. What are we doing? Yeah. 25-26-265 to receive and consider dates and preparation for the annual meeting, not the AGM, the annual meeting of the Parish Council. We usually have this in May, I believe. So we need a date in May. What is it usually, 20th?
Yeah, somewhere around there, so it could be the 19th,
Yeah, what day is the 19th?
Tuesday.
It usually happen on the same night as a parish council meeting.
No, it's not normally.
Oh, it's usually different.
It's a meeting for the parish, it's not a parish council meeting, it is actually a parish meeting.
Well, I think last year we invited various groups to talk.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the 19th, 12th, 19th, we have to have it before the end of May, isn't it?
It's usually got to be in May.
Yeah.
I can't do the 12th.
I wonder if the 19th would be better. Anyway, can you do the
19th looks
all right, Rebecca?
Yeah, I can do the 19th.
John,
Yeah.
Should we settle with the 19th?
Yeah,
Jenny, are you all right?
Yeah.
at the OGS.
Yeah, Jenny.
Do you want to agree a time now or?
Yeah,
Time's
that's what,
well.
7 or 7:37?
7.
7, yeah.
Are you booking?
I'll book it, yeah.
Good, everybody in favour of that? Yeah.
Yeah. Do we want to invite different community,
Yeah,
Yeah,
all the different community groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll have a list from last year.
It'd be interesting to hear the update from Manthorpe Park.
That's
and
right.
the village
Yeah.
to hear that.
exactly.
If they could, that would be great.
Considering the helpful bit. Right, here we go. Planning applications, there's loads of these, so I'm going to go through them. Right, first one is Greystones, Moulton Gate. Now, Greystones is it's in a tree conservation area, and they're looking to remove goat willow, cherry, walnut, reduce limbs on 2 yew trees, and remove branches and reduce height. Greystones. That's
I don't have an issue.
I can answer any questions if need be.
right. So that's your
Yeah.
property.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, I didn't realise it was on the agenda,
Right. Yeah.
but
Put you on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. If you just quickly just give us a it's like quite a few trees. on
yes,
there.
it's quite a few trees. The goat willow, which is the big tree
Yeah.
in the middle, right behind the signpost that says car park and highway, is dying and falling over, which is a pity because it's quite a rare tree, but it's going. It's rotten at the base. We had the tree officer from the national parks come down and have a look at all the trees and what we wanted to do. If you could just run through them again.
Yeah. There was.
The goat willow is the main one.
Yeah. There was the goat willow and cherry.
The cherry is a small tree that is self-seeded. It's probably no more than 10 years old,
Yeah.
and it's about that size, and it's just grown up.
So that wouldn't need permission anyway, would it?
I don't think it
Not for
would
that
need
size.
permission.
No.
I don't think because it's so small, I don't think it would need permission.
And then there's a walnut.
The walnut, just one third of one branch taking off,
Yeah.
just because it's got congested and stuck in the other trees.
Sure. And then yew times 2, so that'd be limbs as well for yew tree, would it?
Yes, that's not on the border with the main road, it's on the border with the neighbours.
Yeah.
And again, that's because it's dying and there's something wrong with it.
Sure.
And this appears to be the only way to keep it going a little bit
Sure.
longer.
It just said remove branches and reduce heights, which you
Yeah.
do when you're living trees. So I personally have no problem with that. I know exactly where you mean property, and there are a lot of trees now. Anybody any issues
No,
with that?
I'm
Good.
completely not proud of that.
Okay. Right, the next one is, well, I'm not going to do the next one because it's the whole residential home, and it was for a safety gate and footings and screen, but the date has gone past since our last meeting, so it was dated the 2nd of February, the application, and 21 days have gone past, so it doesn't matter what we decide, but I don't think there's an issue there, so I'm going to run past that one. The next one is Highfields, application for prior approval for erection of a replacement 22.5 metre monopole mast with antennae, apertures, together with upgrading works within existing equipment, cabin and development ancillary there too.
I think we're on with it today.
So they're sticking up an antenna basically, I think.
Well, there is one there already,
Yes, there is a
Okay.
tree. Isn't there?
which is supposed to look like a tree. But
It doesn't look like a
Okay.
tree.
So, anybody
don't
objections
think
to
so.
sticking up a monopole?
It's just
Yeah.
everything
if it
was done.
improves reception.
Right. Okay. Next one is
Thornton Station Road.
Thornton Station Road, which is the application of the demolition of a garage, alterations, construction of timber porch to side and single-storey extension to rear, together with the construction of a garden room at Thornton Station Road, Thornton le Dale. No, any
No,
problems
I
with
don't have a
that?
problem.
With that.
Good. Fine. Next one is Cafe Boucher. It's down the road here. And they want an application for change of use of rear parking area to ancillary outdoor seating area to serve cafe, construction of retaining wall and erection of a pagoda. Cafe Boucher. I don't have an issue with that.
No,
No,
it's
good.
nice.
Right. One is Rockwood Malton Gate. Rockwood Malton Gate, yeah. There's two applications in here. So, application for removal of condition 4 of planning approval, that was an earlier one, together with submission of windows and door details to discharge conditions 7 and 8 at Rockwood. Well, that's
It's
obviously
listed, isn't it?
listed, yeah. So that's obviously coming before. Don't know what to say about that. So we don't know what condition 4 was.
I think because it's listed.
Right.
Yeah, there'd be one listed business, one of the applications is a listed building application and the other one is a standard application. So.
Yeah, well that must be standard because the next one now is application removal of conditions 3 of listed building consent together with submission of window, door and pointing details to discharge conditions 6, 7, 9 and 10 at Rockwood.
I
Is
don't
that
have
one
an
to
issue.
national parks?
National Parks,
It
yeah.
will all go through the national
Right,
park.
okay.
Yeah.
They'll understand their condition.
Yeah, good. Right, these are some that aren't on here and have come in since,
That's nice.
yeah, since Jenny's agenda went out. So we're into Hillview Pickering Road, application for installation of UPVC French windows in place of existing window and erection of a summer house at Hillview Pickering Road.
No problem with that.
No problem, any problem? No, thank you. The next one is, there's two coming through for the hall here. So, the first one is the application for removal of 3 dormer windows and reinstatement of pitch roof, construction of 1 replacement dormer window and replacement roof material to service entrance at the hall residential home, Churchill.
Now this is a listed building again.
It is a listed building, yeah, because the other one is, the other application is an application for listed building consents for all that basically. So they're 2 separate applications, but just assume they're one at the moment with the listed buildings. Anybody any problem with that?
No, I think it's fine.
That will be there one day.
This last one is a Mr. Oliver Steen, erection of a replacement agricultural building on land at Broadmiles Lane.
This came a few months ago.
Well, it's on.
Are you sure? I think
Was
you
it?
did. I thought it was more of a, like a wholesale. More of
It was sheep, it was sheep, it was sheep, it was quite low. The picture's the same on the
I didn't think it
line.
was a building. I thought it was more an area.
What, flat on the ground?
Mm.
With a shed on?
No, I thought it was just like you encourage your horses around and things like that. I thought that was the one that was a few months ago.
No, that was for sheep.
Well, it must have come up
this
again
one-
because
it's-
the
yeah.
response is out due till the 17th of March, so,
Yeah.
and it's
It only came out. I mean,
the
these are
24th of.
these are all in order,
Yeah.
date order, so that would have been the last one that's come
Yeah,
in the
that's right.
inbox.
Yeah.
But I think he's put it in before,
Okay.
or whether or not he's changed some of the
I can check, because I think the one that you're talking about did get permission.
Yeah,
So I just
I was a
wondered.
bit surprised that it was the same one again.
Okay, do you want me to
Yeah,
look
just.
into it and just?
Well, I can look into it. I'll have another look on the website.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
That's all lost Right, 25, 26, 267 to receive and consider matters raised by the parish clerk, responsible finance officer. A is to receive current bank balances. I think we should all have those through the clerk's notes.
Yeah, they're on the notes there.
Yeah.
So obviously the last ones I did would have been end of December.
Yeah.
Because we didn't really have an end of Jan because we had a meeting on the 20th of Jan.
That's right.
We had no February meetings, so those are the balances at the end of February. And obviously now I've included Skipton Buildings
Yeah.
Society on there as well. Now we've opened an account with them. So Barker's Community, end of February is £2,324.48. Barclays Premium, £93,159.44. And the Skipton Building Society is £100.
Okay, I mean, do you want to see, because we're talking about putting, no, I might as well throw them in order. We'll go to B now, to consider payments received and those awaiting authorisation. So on the clerk's notes, we should have payments. We got any to approve there, Jenny?
This there we are.
Oh, yeah, I've got it here. So much paperwork. So if you wouldn't mind just taking us
Yeah,
through
sure.
those,
So
please.
there's the website was just the domain name, which we pay every year. So that's actually due this week. So just need authority on that one. And then the other three, which is the safety signs and also the Parish Council Wheelbarrow. So they were all agreed at the last meeting. Obviously they've been purchased since. So I've
Is it in the right colour?
with orange.
I've seen
Green.
it.
Have you seen
Have you
it?
seen it? Is it
From a distance.
bright orange?
Can't miss it.
Got stickers on or
That's
just
the whole
plain?
plan.
Stickers or just plain?
Well, we can always stick stickers on it.
Sorry, I interrupted.
So yeah, so it's just, as I say, 3 out of the 4 have already had a pre-approval because we authorised it, but that's just a detail. Obviously, that's what was bought and that's how much we paid for them. So the safety signs, and I've separated out the delivery costs because it came separately. And then there's the website and obviously the infamous wheelbarrow. So if you could just,
Is he happy with his
I
wheelbarrow?
think he is.
Yeah, good.
He knows it's a parish council asset now.
It's on the asset register.
It's on the asset register along the road, the safety signs as well.
So can I propose we approve the payments?
Yeah, I'll second that.
Everybody
Yeah,
in favour?
in
Yes.
favour.
Absolutely.
You just sign that.
Yeah.
This thing. Thank you.
C, to receive update on savings investment option with Skipton Building Society.
Yeah, so the only thing to say on that is it's now open, finally.
With £100.
Yeah. So I have had a letter through this week confirming that they've received £100, which is
So it's
open.
worked.
And also who's on the mandate, so there's 4 signatories, including Simon, is on the mandate as well. So I'll put that letter in the secure area so you can all see that.
So 4 signatures are yourself,
Myself,
Simon,
John, is that?
so.
So, but having spoke with Skipton, it's not an account that we can administer online. I thought we'd be able to do that, but we're not able to. We can transfer funds into the Building Society account.
Yeah.
So that's easy enough to do from the Barclays Premium.
Yeah.
But in terms of if we were to take anything out, we would have to go to the branch in Malton. So I propose what we do is we would minute it at the meeting, get that signed off at the next meeting, and then take that in, so that we've approved it.
Does it need 2 people to go in there, or just
No, just
a minute with 2
it's
signatures?
as long as I think it's not recorded on the minutes.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And maybe both the minutes signed by both people, by myself and yourself.
Do we get a passport?
We don't get anything. You're like, how do we know it's open? How do we know we've got some money in there? So anyway, they've sent me this letter through, and it just confirmed that it's open. It's got the list of bank mandate signatories. It just came through yesterday, so as I say, I'll scan that and send that round.
So we definitely need 2 signatures for every transaction.
For
Yeah.
for withdrawals, basically.
For withdrawals.
And presumably they'll send sort of 3 monthly or 6 monthly
Yeah,
statements.
I like to think so. Keep
So we know
prompting
what's
them.
in there.
Or I think we might just need a visit.
But as I said,
The
they're
branch.
reasonably local, and you know, you can go in there. They've always been
Yeah,
quite helpful.
yeah,
in the
absolutely,
past,
so-
yeah, until they shut the branch down. They have to go to York.
Yeah. So that sort of gives you an update, and
Yeah.
at least they didn't send the paperwork back and say this is missing, that's missing. They just opened it, which is great news.
And I think leading on from there, D is to receive and consider financial investments. So how much are we actually going to put in there from the Barclays account, which has currently got 93,000 in.
And then we're going to get some more money.
And then we've got another 26, 27
Yeah.
coming in
precept.
April for the
Yeah.
half of the precept, the 6 monthly precept.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking roughly, I'm thinking around the 70,000. I don't know if anybody's,
So that will leave us 23 plus 23, which will leave us
50 odd,
50.
50 odd to
Yeah.
play with throughout
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
John, any sort
The
of,
money sort of increase that by 10, sort of 80.
Yeah.
Because with the April is the precept month
Yes.
that we receive it. That would give us 33,000, and budget-wise, I don't think we've got anything.
no.
I know we've got the clerk's review salary line.
Sure, yeah.
Well, I think we need to lower it then.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to put this.
Simon, any
Don't forget the bonus.
thoughts on it?
Again, with very little visibility thus far in terms of what an annual.
Yeah.
Interesting to hear the pair of you's remarks.
Mm.
Presumably relatively easy to transfer between one another if we've got it wrong.
Yeah, and well, we'd have to go into the branch. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that'd be fine.
It's
I'd
quite
probably
straightforward.
go with the higher figure and transfer it back if it were required.
I mean, obviously, the idea is to leave as much in the premium if it's not going into Skipton. So we're still earning interest in the premium. It's just not. It's
As
about
much.
1%,
Yeah.
1.5% difference between the two. And on such a high value, it's worth
Yes,
having an extra account.
Yeah.
So
Rebecca, your thoughts on it, please?
I'm not on the finance committee anymore.
Yeah, but you still have a thought.
You can have a
thought.
you know,
We might not listen.
you like
So we're looking at 80 at the moment.
70 or 80?
Right, which 70 or 80?
75.
Well, I propose.
Go for 80.
Well, I'm afraid. I propose we transfer 80 from the Barclay account into the skip.
I'll second that.
Okay,
I'll
everybody
vote on
fine?
it.
Right, move on 25, 26 to, right glasses on, 268, to receive new correspondence received by the clerk and agree actions required. First is the update on the new PC email disclaimer.
well, this is where I put you all in detention.
I know,
isn't it?
I can't do it.
Because none of you have done it.
No, I can't do it.
Yeah, it's dead easy to do. Even I can do it. So.
thought
Yeah, but you're
Fair
incredibly
enough.
intelligent, but we're not.
I mean, I do expect you might.
I'll fall short of it. That's why I became a farmer.
So do we need?
That's why I'm not sending any emails. Can't do it.
Do we need a tutorial or?
We need to do
We
it.
definitely need some assistance from someone of intellectual.
Well, I only email you, so I,
You just resort to text.
so,
messaging.
so, shh, don't tell me.
Okay.
Don't send emails now.
Is there anybody in your families that could perhaps maybe help, like
David?
people that are slightly younger?
We have, but we don't have Mitzi's sons yet. You can't cope. Because that means you're getting old.
I'm sure I'll manage it.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll manage it sometime.
In fact, I thought
I'm
the
gonna
last
keep it on
email
the
I sent you
agenda.
a bit on, but everything I was
Simon,
putting
you're being
in.
very quiet. Come on.
Simon's
Sure, it's
fine. probably
busy.
doing
Busy.
I
You're
had
just too busy.
assumed, perhaps incorrectly, that whatever we put into an email, as you hit send, it automatically got tagged on the bottom. That is not the case.
No, unless you went for a multinational.
Okay.
No, it's not for the parish council. I think it was justifiably too much money to do it that way when we spoke to the website people. So the idea was
So,
to
so
just
we all just need to go
include
through the process of adding it into the footer.
it into the
Yeah.
into the signature bit.
Can I ask a question? If we're sending emails between ourselves, between the parish council, surely there isn't a need to put the disclaimer on it, is there?
Well, when you put it on, it automatically just happens. So you just do it once in the signature, in your settings on email, and then every time you send an email, it automatically.
You're right, faff on to do it either
Yeah.
way. You'd be
It's
better
not on the
just-
number of emails I send.
No, as soon as you write an email, it automatically is at the bottom of your email.
Right.
Ah,
I believe you.
Well, I think we'll have individual shoot over. We'll just do a group shoot over.
Right, okay.
I'll ask for you in person.
Yeah.
She's only here, but she'll know.
Just in email settings. Just next to us. Okay.
Right.
I'm absolutely on the agenda.
Simon, your chance now. An update from Councillor Tempest on the Village Hall TLD Nature Group presentation.
So this is just following up the email I put around. So Village Hall, first of all, main focus of that the new trustee group, is on trying to, I guess, three things. Number one, trying to cement the CIO. So it is actually a CIO, but making sure that all of the due diligence is done and all the mechanics of
So
the
CIO is...
The CIO is the new charitable status,
Okay.
but assuming that trustees are not negligent in any way, gives a similar sort of protection to trustees as what you would get as a director in a limited company. It does that sort of thing. So that's the first thing, and the aim is to have all that done, tidied up, sorted out by the AGM, and they're looking at an AGM at the 7th of May.
Right.
Second thing then is looking at the state of the building, and there is currently proposed a 3-phase approach to actually moving it from where it is at the moment, as in moving it, that's the wrong word, getting it upgraded from where it is at the moment by dealing with the back end first, looking at then the front end, levelling it up, actually putting some temporary facilities in there whilst the back end's being done, and then
for disabled access, better disabled
yes,
access. Yeah.
and then the final bit will be the hall itself and sorting that out, which is probably going to happen over the summer 27, which will actually require it to be shut for a period of time. Defined time is yet to
No
be.
more pickleball then.
Well, I don't know. You might see. It's summer, isn't it? You could do it in the garden.
Yeah. Tennis season, right.
So then the other element then is raising the funds to do all that, because it is still the case that the estimate is somewhere, ballpark numbers, about £1 million.
Have they applied for any grants? Have they applied for any grants?
In process at the moment.
Right.
So what day is today? Tomorrow they've got somebody coming from the Yorkshire. It is a group that represents village halls across
Right.
Yorkshire, coming to advise on how best to approach that. And then the second part to that then, that kind of goes hand in glove with it, because some of the grants will require some local skin in the game in terms of raising money locally. So that will be a fairly small percentage, but an important one, versus the grants. So that's what's happening. first, by the way, fundraiser is the 14th of March in the village hall, which is a quiz.
Yeah.
So that's a village hall update, and essentially what's happened is the trustees have been divided down into different subgroups.
And is there a chair?
So I'm glad you mentioned that. So that the chairperson at the moment is Lynn Hogwood.
Right.
Lynn will not be the chair going forward, although she will be a trustee from the 7th of May. That will move to being Barbara Gansfield.
Okay.
So she is the chair-elect.
Right.
And then each of the subgroups has a leader that's then responsible for that group and just making sure the reports back to the main trustee group. So that's what's happening there. They're meeting broadly once a month.
Yeah.
So next one's a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Any questions on the village hall? Moving on then. So the other one that I went to is the Thornton Nature Network, which was what now? It was 18th of February, so 2-3 weeks ago. There were actually 3 presentations. The first one, as you quite rightly say, was Holly. And my understanding is absolutely that she actually said as much, what she did in that meeting was probably what she did in when she came to the Parish Council, yes. But first time I'd heard it, of course, that was interesting.
Yeah.
And that was at the point in time that she announced, first of all, that she'd secured another tranche or a third element of funding that would take her through to the end of this year, which is, I don't know if this is Levy or Levy. It's a new sponsor that adds into Santander and Howden's. And then the second thing she announced was that the landowner, which is why I happen to know the name Alwyn, had given permission to actually move the Grubs Up project forward. Now the other one that I included in my notes was Wendy, who I think we all know, who then stood up on behalf of the Nature Network and gave a short presentation. She gave a presentation. She talked through how the Nature Group had gotten started and the journey that they've been on and some of the things that they'd like to see happen. And one of the things that, unsurprisingly, I think, particularly given the meeting that we had in December, was that the question of the grass cutting contract came up again, which and I got Wendy came and talked to me afterwards. She knew I was on the parish council. Came and talked to me afterwards, which is why I then followed up and asked to see the contract. So I'll honestly kind of jump in the gun because we've got an agenda element at the end of the in a few moments' time. But not being familiar with or as familiar as I ought to be, because new, with how you go about doing things, we then got into a bit of a debate around email. It was suggested that maybe we ought to cover it at the next meeting, so that would be my suggestion.
The email for
the email correspondence, particularly Janet and I got
right.
into,
Okay.
surrounding how we just take all that forward.
Right.
So I put out there, you were probably still on holiday, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because this is now a couple of weeks ago, Jenny, I would guess. I put a proposal out on what we might discuss. I'll recirculate that, but that would be my suggestion that we actually pick that up next meeting. It's not agenda this meeting.
No. And what sort of discussions or do you want to pick those up next meeting? Does it refer to grass cutting contracts?
It does. My suggestion for what it was worth, I mean, we're kind of getting into what I was proposing. My suggestion for what it's worth is that the contract clearly allows for a variation, particularly if it encourages biodiversity. And so one of the suggestions that I made, and it, particularly in the light of the biodiversity policies, it might well be worthwhile just reviewing what, if any, response we might want to make to that.
I think we discussed the grass cutting contract and the chances of putting any sort of wild bird cover last meeting, didn't we? I think we agreed not to vary the contract. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
It's not been discussed whilst I've been a member of the council.
It was last year.
It was last year.
And it's probably just been over 6 months since it was, but we've then voted on, so.
I don't actually think we voted on it. I think the chair at the time moved it on, so we didn't actually get to
Right,
vote
okay.
on it.
But normally.
I think you're right,
That's
I've
before.
heard that Steve.
Right, okay.
So,
Right.
so yeah, I have
Okay.
heard that story as well. I just think it's worthwhile. There's an email with a proposal in it for what we might discuss. I just think it's worthwhile discussing it again, particularly given that the contract allows for it. Janet's given some views, which I think are actually quite sensible views, to be honest. But she's not here to express them. And it's not agendaed either.
Well, should we just agree to put it on the next agenda and then we can just.
The only thing that concerns me is all this scrubs up. I don't have an issue, but it's taking a lot of your
Yeah, it is.
time up, Jenny. All these emails that we're all getting when we need to do the core business of Parish Council.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that concerns me at the moment.
It's one of the reasons why I think it'd be worthwhile just having a.
Do the grubs up have, because we've talked to them, we've had meetings with them, do they have, we did ask them at one point to come with a plan, and the other thing that we discussed up Outgang Lane was that, and it was actually one of the gentlemen that was there, if they could get that land, do something with it, give it a year, and let people see what they can do, and then
when we review the grass cutting
and then
contracts,
come back.
then, yeah.
once we see what's happening up at Outgang Lane.
And we've also got to bear in mind that that is in terms of the village, a minority view. When we have in the past varied the grass cutting contract, the furore caused has been significant.
Yeah.
And legitimate, everybody has a different view. There's as many views on biodiversity as there are people in this room, and probably a lot more.
I think so, yes.
Probably one for every person in the
There's
village.
nothing to really suggest, but it's a minority.
Yeah, sorry, if you'd like to ask a question.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a question, yeah.
Right.
There's nothing, John, to be honest, to suggest it's a minority view in the village. Because
I didn't say a minority view in the village, a minority
people come forward when
in
they have a
terms of this
strong view
council.
about something, but regarding something new that people don't know about, like biodiversity, and the commitment that parish councils have to it, people are quite shy coming forward. So it's not a majority view, it's a view we don't know, because we're not testing it.
With the all due respect, the views of not doing things. Biodiversity isn't a new principle.
No.
It's been about since I was in short trousers.
Well, it's been about forever. The biodiversity is
Something-
And there have
Anyway,
been
yeah, I'm
similar
going to shut it
debates
down. It's
over
not.
the years.
It's something new that
Yeah.
people now talk about.
It
Yeah,
is,
I
yeah,
always
well,
have.
one or two people talk about it. Yeah, I know as I've done. So, sorry, I'd like no more
I think that's
questions.
I think Leslie should have.
No more
I don't
questions.
particularly want to get us drawn into that,
No.
hence the reason for suggesting it moved into the piece. It's not agendaed,
No,
and it's
it's
going to
not.
consume time, so.
No, okay. Right.
May I ask?
Very, very briefly,
Very
because I don't want to get into.
No, I know you understand you're going to agenda it for another time. I think I went to the Grubs Up meeting as well and
Yeah.
found it very interesting.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I took away from it was there's an opportunity to educate people, and tidiness is a human requirement. What people are saying about the grass cutting is not to not cut the grass and keep the village tidy, it's to take an opportunity to allow nature to thrive as well. And I think it's a really important subject.
Very important.
That yes, it's obviously taking up time, and I don't have a kind of background in it, in what's gone on previously in parish council meetings, but I think, as Simon's alluded to, it's something that maybe needs to be looked at as an opportunity.
But we are looking at it, and the site you've secured up Outgang Road, Limekiln Road is an ideal opportunity to show exactly what the Grubs Up Group can do and bring it forward after a year's time, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, it requires a lot of commitment. It requires an awful lot of know-how, skill, etc. It's not something you can just chuck some seeds on the ground and expect them to grow.
No,
My
absolutely.
background is in conservation agriculture, so it's not
That's
an
why
easy.
we've got growth up involved.
It's not an easy thing at all.
I think within this room, everybody is of an age that can remember when you used to drive along on a Sunday afternoon and your car windscreen would be completely covered in bugs. And that is not the case now. So biodiversity is so important to allow nature
I
to
disagree
thrive.
with you.
Yeah, my screen gets covered in bugs.
Can we just agree whether or not we're putting
Yeah,
it on the
okay,
agenda?
yeah.
Because a part of the education would be the viewpoint from North Yorkshire Council in terms of where they are at with everything.
They haven't
And they
finalised.
they have circulated the plan on the grass cutting for this year, and there is a PDF document that's been circulated around, so I think that's important to go through that perhaps, so you can see both sides, because obviously they do produce a guidance on grass cutting in what you class as an urban area, or if it's under 60 mile an hour, under 30 mile an hour. So I think it's important to, you know,
I'd also say on your behalf is please reduce the amount of emails that are coming through for Jenny, because they're frequent and it is taking up a
And I
massive amount
think,
of her
I
time.
think if we get any more, it needs to go to
It
that
needs
new
into the new vexatious
thing.
thing. A lot of the questions are asked to be answered already, and they keep going backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And I see them, and it's not doing the job any good, to be honest. So, you know, please reduce the amount of emails that are bombarding Jenny, because it's taking up council time. And you've got plenty on as it is. We've got a lot on.
So why would we put it on the agenda again when we're waiting to see what's happening up at Outdown Lane? I think we just need to wait, Simon, to see how they operate up Outdown Lane. And that's what it was agreed even by one Legit Brian from the Dog Sub Group. He said, let's not run before we can walk. Yeah, he actually said that.
Let me have a conversation with you afterwards.
What, with me? Right,
To-
okay.
Well, I think it needs to be, yeah, we're all councils together, aren't we?
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't answer them now, because we're just going to
well, should we just come back to it at 269 as to whether or not you want to include it on the next agenda, because that's what 269 is for. And we'll finish off 268.
Right,
But
so,
where are we?
Well, have you, so Simon, have you sort of finished?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on C.
right, see, final version of parish plan received and circulated. We've received the parish plan, but we've had no data. We asked for data
Ages ago.
and no data's come forward. So without that, we can't go any further. So who's ever responsible for doing the parish plan, please can they provide us with some data? Otherwise, we can't make decisions just based on no data.
Okay.
So I don't know who's doing that. Is that?
We're just waiting for the days. And then once we've got it, we can circulate it around.
Right. D, request for donation to village planters. Jenny, can you take us?
Yeah, sure, that
forward,
came
please?
through a couple of weeks ago. So again, I've sort of pointed them towards the grant application. So, and I've not had anything back since. So, yeah, and it was just a request for a donation, but
No, Mount was mentioned.
no,
Right.
don't think so. No.
No, I haven't seen it. No. Right, so I'll wait for a
Yeah,
grant application form for that one.
Mhm.
E, new grant request from North Yorkshire National Parks update.
Yeah, there's no update because I haven't really been able to do anything on this. So this is where there was some suggestions at the last meeting, and there is a form that I can fill in for the Parish Council to try and obtain a grant, and we can perhaps get some additional work done in the village. stage. So I'm on with that one. I just haven't had a chance to do anything yet.
F, request from Highways to attend workshops update.
Yeah, no update as to the workshop dates. Yeah, they were going to be March, still haven't heard anything. So we'll circulate once we do.
Hedge tree update, Snicket Molten Gate, Roxburgh Road. I think we've already been to that, haven't we?
Yeah, so that's just what the update kindly provided from Peter Smith.
Yeah.
And Peter Lockwood is involved in that as well. So it's just a little bit more trimming needed on the hedge. So that's all in hand.
And H, Priestman's Lane parking restrictions update.
That was the council have made a decision on that, North Yorkshire Council.
Double yellow lines.
No waiting.
There's a road closure programme for Priestman's Lane, so I suspect that's
Right.
for them to put down the double yellow line.
Yeah, good. Right, moving on, 25-26 269, to receive matters raised by members for inclusion on the future agenda, and notes outstanding for future's agenda. I've got one really. We ought to upgrade some of our grants policies, given the fact that we've been asked for various grants. Anybody, any others?
I'll put on about the overall policies.
Yes.
That needs to go on. So,
Right, 25-26 270 to confirm dates for future meetings for 2026. So the next meeting will be the 7th of April, followed by the 5th of May, followed by the 2nd of June 26.
Cool.
Yeah, are we happy with those dates? I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I'd like to close the meeting.
So just going back to the point before, is this an opportunity to ask about whether something has been on the agenda or raise it as an agenda item for a future meeting? Something I'd like to council to consider.
Right.
So very briefly, it's to do with cycle path provision in the village, because I read something in some council minutes about there was plans to complete the cycle path, and I didn't know what that was. But what I would say is, 20 years of commuting 20 miles a day in London and continuing to cycle every day near enough since. The way the cycle path goes now down Westgate and up onto the road, on the main road, you get to the main road, it's the worst, most dangerous cycle junction I've ever come across in my life. And it nearly caused an accident with my granddaughter. You come out, you stop, the camber of the road is such that you can't move forward without trying to accelerate or push down. If you look to the right, you're unsighted. Even in the winter, you're unsighted. The cars are coming at 60 miles an hour from both directions. It is a very, very dangerous junction, and it's just an accident waiting to happen. But I did see that there was something about completing, whatever that might mean, a cycle path from the top where there is an existing cycle path into the village. But from the top of the road down to the bottom of the road, the bit of the cycle path there is useless. It's not capable of. It's a footpath. I'm not sure if it's a cycle path or footpath.
It's currently a footpath.
Yeah. So I don't know whether these things have been discussed in any path, but I don't know whether I want to or what my wife wants me to do.
I think someone would have to bring up with highways, to be honest. Yeah.
I think it has
highways.
And I think you make a very important point. I do a lot of cycling, we both do. Going down there is a nightmare. Coming out of that junction is a nightmare.
It's an accident waiting to happen.
I think thinking back, it's been part of the parish plan. I think it's in the parish plan.
Right.
There was some reference that I couldn't quite understand about the parish. The parish was going to look at the completion of the last phase. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. So.
Okay. thanks very much for bringing that up. Anyway.
Is it a future agenda item, or is it something I should raise with the highways department?
Shall I put a note to highways?
Put a note to highways
And then we'll
and just say
provide
we
an
are
update.
concerned as a parish about
a
it.
residence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ought to do that.
Yeah.
I actually slept there once on the bike.
I probably need some details of it. So
Yeah, okay.
Where
We'll
it is
give
and
the
what
details.
junctions.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I can put a note into highways.
I think it's certainly a valid point. Probably better to go direct to highways and put it through the parish
you've got
plan and blah blah blah.
an email address you want to leave, I can always update you after we get a response. If you,
Okay.
or if you want to come to the
Well,
next
would
meeting.
you be happy if I sent an email to just a concern?
Yeah,
Maybe
sure.
we could-
Yeah,
We can forward that
yeah,
on.
yeah, if you forward that to
And then I
Jenny.
can forward it on to highways.
Yeah.
Before an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Put some clout behind it as well.
Is the email address is on the website, our
Right,
website. If,
Yeah, thank you for that. Brilliant.
okay.
So with that in mind, I'd like to close the meeting at 8:20. Thank you very much for coming.